upwards of $100,000 in some cases. And so especially in those tiny districts or a charter school, that can wipe out an entire year's budget.
Ahead on Up with KREM, rural school districts are paying a lot to educate high-needs students. An Idaho bill would help with that, coming up.
And we've got another day with mild temperatures in the forecast, expecting 50s. Coming up, we've got your full forecast.
Plus, a classic movie returns to the big screen today. That and even more weekend events to tell you about. Good morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. Happy Sunday. I'm Nicole Hernandez. Let's start with Brandon T. Jones. Brandon, already a wonderful weekend, but what does today look like?
It honestly looks pretty similar to what we experienced yesterday on Saturday. I think the only difference is that we got a drop of our overall high temperature, like 3 degrees. So if yesterday was a high of 56 or 57, expect a high today of about 53 or 54. Still expecting mostly dry conditions today as well, but there is a chance of some isolated showers. We could be seeing those chances of rain anytime after 11 a.m. It's like a really small chance. So it's like 20% chance of rain. So if you get some rain, consider yourself lucky right there. Lots of clouds here on this Sunday as well. Good pockets of sunshine though, but overall kind of a chill Sunday here on this Sunday.
Idaho transportation crews are starting a bridge repair project in Kootenai County tonight. Work starts on the Greens Ferry Road overpass in Post Falls. They'll do most of the work overnight though, so it shouldn't impact traffic much. Crews will have to close lanes on I-90, but again, overnight. And then once that project wraps up in June, crews will move to a second bridge in Rathdrum later this summer. Yesterday, crowds gathered across the inland Northwest as part of the National No Kings protest. Here's a look at the event.
I'm here today because I feel a lot of our rights have been taken away. There's chaos every morning when you turn on the news, and we need some peace, happiness, and love.
Yeah, I'm just here for my daughters today. We're going to make sure that they have reproductive rights, and we're going to make sure that we have free and fair elections for the rest of our lives.
We brought our family down to the protest today to teach our kids about assembly and free speech, and we're just making a good example for everyone. And we're happy to see the turnout and having some fun.
I'm here today because I feel like I and we as a community deserve more rights than are being given to us, that things are terribly wrong with our political system, from the war, from healthcare, and I'm just here to support what can be better for us.
But people didn't just gather here at Riverfront Park. They're also taking to the streets and making their voices heard here at B.A. Clark Park.
Hi, I think it's important for me to be here today since I'm part of the next group of voters, and every vote matters, so please help and come use your voice.
I'm here because as a teacher and a father of 3, I believe that protest is one of the best things we could do to make sure that our future remains free and free from tyranny and fascism.
Hi, my name is Maureen and I'm here today. I am a Canadian, but I am now an American citizen, and I am absolutely appalled at what is happening with the Constitution. And I'm thrilled with the turnout that I'm seeing today. It's way bigger than last year.
In Spokane, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
It is now law to have a mandatory 60-second moment of silence in Idaho public schools. Governor Brad Little signed the bill last week. The law requires all K-12 public schools to start each day with a 1-minute moment of silence. The bill's sponsor says the time can be used for reflection, meditation, or prayer. Supporters say this could improve students' mental health, but critics say the law blurs the line between church and state and puts pressure on students. Educating students with high needs can cost districts tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes more. For smaller and rural schools, that can mean some tough choices. Idaho lawmakers passed a bill to help cover those costs, but not everybody is on board. Our Boise sister station breaks it down.
I'm the parent of a 14-year-old daughter with autism.
For Julie Whitman, her daughter has been a living testament to why public education is so important for students with special needs.
Not only is it critical for my daughter to attend school and get her education as well as the other services that she needs there, speech, OT, but I think just her being in the classroom gives those other students something that's really hard to teach.
But there's one problem. The cost to educate some high-need students is too much for school districts, especially rural districts.
They can, upwards of $100,000 in some cases. And so especially in those tiny districts or a charter school, that can wipe out an entire year's budget.
Senate Bill 1288 looks to help, setting aside $5 million to support districts facing those high costs.
The school districts absorb this. If you're a rural small district or a charter, you really don't have the wherewithal to take a bunch of money from the other students.
If a student exceeds $30,000 to teach, districts will be able to pull from the $5 million state fund.
For this coming year, people with high needs children have the opportunity to be taught by professionals on how to help their child achieve their potential and live the best life possible.
Districts also can turn to federal funding through the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, but Melissa Vion with Idaho Parents Unlimited says it often falls short of covering the full cost of services.
We see this particularly important when we have families with multiple students that have the same disabilities within the family. In a smaller district, that can just completely immobilize a district.
The bill passed the House and Senate floor.
49 ayes, 21 nays, majority having voted in favor of Senate Bill 1288.
But not without some pushback from lawmakers. Some of the money to go to the High Needs Fund was taken from the Driver's Education Fund. That's a move lawmakers disagreed with.
Are we going to just completely gut an entire program that everybody in the state is using for one small group of people, or are we going to do the responsible thing and just not let this happen this year?
But for parents fighting for their child's education, it's about more than dollars and budgets.
Families don't want to get caught up in all of that funding, right? And they just want the supports that their students deserve.
For them, passing this bill could make all the difference.
The impact that these students with really high needs have on the other students in the classroom in a really positive way, because they instill a sense of compassion and acceptance and understanding about kids that are different than themselves.
The day Rome falls, there will be a shout of freedom such as the world has never heard before.
Have you seen that movie before? I actually personally have not, but we've got a chance. We could see it again on the big screen. Ben-Hur is back in theaters. It's a 1959 epic that won Best Picture and 10 other Oscars. They actually remastered it into 4K so you can see it for the next few days. Also today, the Spokane Rock Rollers' 65th annual Gem and Mineral Show at the fairgrounds. There's rocks, there's crystals, there's minerals, stone cutting and polishing, a dig for kids, lots of fun stuff. Admission is $12, but kids under 12 get in for free. Big tech is under scrutiny for alleged harm to teens. Washington just signed into law to regulate AI chatbots. And as the Mariners look ahead to their season, we're taking a look back to the iconic Kingdome. Big news from this week. A Los Angeles jury found YouTube and Meta responsible for designing addictive products that harm young people's mental health. The companies have to pay $6 million in damages to the 20-year-old woman who sued them. She said the infinite scroll and autoplay caused her to become addicted to social media at a young age and caused depression and anxiety. Both companies plan to appeal this verdict. And meanwhile, more psychologists are warning about young people becoming addicted to apps like TikTok. New research in China shows that so-called short video addiction tends to affect children with focus problems and children who have trouble identifying emotions. Short video addiction harms both psychological and physical health. Meanwhile, Washington is taking a major step to regulate artificial intelligence. A new law would protect young users. As King 5 reporter Maddie White shows us, it comes with both hope and heartbreak.
A defining moment and a warning.
AI, of course, has incredible potential to transform society. At the same time, of course, there are risks that we must mitigate as a state, especially to young people.
Governor Bob Ferguson signed House Bill 2225 into law this week, acknowledging both promise and peril.
There have been stories of teens turning to these chatbots in times of distress before, quite tragically, ultimately ending their lives.
The law now requires AI chatbots to flag signs of self-harm, connect users to crisis hotlines, and limit manipulative or explicit content for minors. But for one of the people standing next to Ferguson Tuesday, this was more than policy, it's personal.
I'm thrilled, really, just to see some basic level accountability being built into this kind of on the forefront. We're getting ahead of the curve.
Aaron Ping from Olympia lost his 16-year-old son Avery just over a year ago after a poisonous drug deal over Snapchat. He says he never knew how few safeguards existed.
The public doesn't really realize that until, it comes up and your son dies.
Researchers say the risks are real and growing.
Tech companies can't be relied on to regulate themselves, so we really need to step up and regulate.
Supporters call it a balanced approach, protecting kids without stopping innovation.
Mitigating the risk, but trying to take on some of the benefits as well.
But industry leaders warn the law may go too far.
The risk is legislating based on rare, horrific outliers.
For Aaron Ping, those outliers are real lives.
It's a relief. It makes me sleep a little better at night.
A bittersweet victory, a law meant to protect the next child.
It's hard. It's really hard.
And a father hoping his son's story saves another.
Well, we've got another day of mild temperatures, pretty chill conditions. Overall, a good spring day. We've got your full forecast coming up.
The Mariners just started their 50th season, and as the team looks ahead, we're taking a look back at the iconic Kingdome.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the initial voyage of the Seattle Mariners.
First game for the Mariners since 1977. My dad got tickets, and we went over to that. It was just a surreal experience as a kid.
Randy Perry grew up in Bremerton and still remembers taking the ferry to Seattle with his dad to watch the Mariners play at the Kingdome. He even kept every ticket stub.
My dad put the ticket in the program and kept going to games, put the tickets in the program, and I always thought the tickets were they were cooler than the programs, and so I just kept all of my tickets.
And Randy says, looking back, it's the sound of the stadium that really stands out.
The sound in there was different because it was so big, and a lot of times things would resonate off of the, a ball would hit the bleachers, and the bleachers were metal, and you hear this ping.
Probably my most memorable core memory at the Kingdome was getting Harold Reynolds' autograph. I still have it. I still have old arrows. He became my favorite player.
More than 3,000 miles away in Florida, Angela Langer grew up in the Seattle area and has continued to cheer on the M's.
I think of just that special bonding time that we had together.
She says when she thinks of the Kingdome, she thinks of her dad.
Now at the age of 45 and my dad's 70, we still talk about sports. We still talk about the old times at the Kingdome. And I pass that on to my three boys.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look at what this Sunday has in store for us. Pretty similar to what we experienced. Just go ahead and take a look at our weekend forecast, right? Saturday, you had a high of 56 degrees, a low in the 30s or so, mostly cloudy conditions. And now Sunday. The main difference that we're seeing really is that drop slightly in temperature. So expecting a high near 53 or 54 degrees or so for us on Sunday. Lots of clouds still hanging around. And then you're also going to have some chances of isolated showers as well. We'll keep a close eye on that. So let's go ahead and take a look at our rain graphic. Sunday, the rain chances they pop up pretty much a lot more than what we saw on Saturday and even Friday. Friday was an absolutely gorgeous day. We really didn't even have many clouds, as you can tell the difference just in the graphics right down there. But Sunday, again, more clouds, more chances of those isolated showers. So just be prepared for that. I don't think it can really deter you from making any outdoor plans, or at least making your way around town. It shouldn't be too much rain if we get any at all. But go ahead, take a look at your day planner right here. A little bit chilly as you make your way out the doors, but by this afternoon, things are going to be looking good. Mostly cloudy. If the clouds kind of overtake the sun a little bit, I still expect us to get a good pocket of sunshine here and there. And then by this evening, that's when we can start to see some of those rain chances increase a little bit and maybe get the grounds a little bit wet as you're making your way to bed, I guess, getting ready to start the new week off. Our 7-day forecast right here. Again, Saturday and Sunday, almost pretty much identical days. But as we make our way into the new week, you can see those temperatures kind of following a trend, right? We've got the highs in the 50s starting to kind of tick down a little bit closer to the actual 50 mark compared to upper 50s. But then we're looking a little bit later in the week and maybe have some more chances of rain really returning to the forecast. Hopefully it kind of sticks just to Wednesday and Thursday before opening night for the Spokane Indians on Friday. So of course, we'll be keeping a close eye out on that.
His vitals were all over the place.
Miles above the Pacific Ocean, a Washington soldier stepped up to save a man's life. That story coming up. An incredible story here. An Army first sergeant from Joint Base Lewis McChord saved somebody's life on a Southwest Airlines flight. As Maddie White reports, things may have gone south without his bravery.
First Sergeant Timmy Turner was in Honolulu last week, laying his father to rest. On Wednesday, he boarded a flight home on Southwest.
I was watching a little movie on,
When about 2.5 hours into it,
and I can kind of see some commotion going on.
He says flight attendants discovered a 65-year-old man unconscious in the lavatory.
He came over to the PA and asked if there were any medical personnel on the flight.
Halfway over the Pacific, there was no chance of landing quickly. Immediately, First Sergeant Timmy Turner stepped forward, leveraging his experience in combat medicine and respiratory therapy from the 62nd Medical Brigade here at JBLM.
Myself and the other gentleman who was an EMT, we grabbed the gentleman, very confined quarters. His vitals were all over the place. They were not normal.
Another passenger on that flight tells King 5 they witnessed, in their words, urgency, the fear among passengers, and the extraordinary professionalism displayed by Turner.
Kind of vomited a little bit.
Turner had crew give him an AED, an oxygen tank, and an IV.
We put him on his side initially. And
he says he wasn't sure what the man was suffering from.
He's still unconscious, still not responding to anything that we're doing.
Does he have a pulse at this point?
He has a very faint pulse.
He monitored the man's vitals for 3 hours while the pilot could get them to the closest available airport, Oakland.
He was still alive.
Witnesses say Turner and a nurse braced themselves over the man like a human seatbelt, protecting him through landing as he laid on the cabin floor.
They were able to get us direct into a gate where EMS was able to board the aircraft very quickly.
A passenger tells King 5 they believe without Turner, that man may not have survived. As for Turner,
I picture myself, back in my younger days when, I was a combat medic in the back of a, 113.
He says it was a reminder of the value of his years of service.
If anything, it just kind of boosted my confidence a little bit more that, at the end of the day, I know that I can save a life if I need to, and hopefully, if others are able to do it, that they have that confidence to do the same thing.
Maddie White, King 5 News.
If you haven't started your Easter shopping yet, get ready to spend a little bit more than last year. Coming up, how inflation is pushing people to record spending for the holiday. Right now on Up with KREM, a major change for Idaho's first responders signed into law. New benefits for those killed in the line of duty and what it means for their families next. Plus, have you been thinking about getting an e-bike? Now might be the time to go for it. We'll tell you about Washington's rebate program. And later, experts forecasting record Easter spending this year, saying Americans will likely spend close to $200 per person. How inflation is playing a role. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Nicole Hernandez. As always, we want to start with Brandon T. Jones. Brandon, what's going on in the Weather Center this morning?
Oh, well, it's pretty much a similar day to what we experienced yesterday in terms of the weather. So preparing pretty much just for some cloudier conditions and then also mild temperatures as well. Take a look at that graphic right there. The only difference is that we're dropping about 3 degrees compared to what our high was on Saturday. Today, you've got a high of about 53 degrees. Lots of clouds. We'll also have a chance of some isolated rain showers. I don't think we should be prepared for too much, but if you do get some rain, it's just not going to last around too long. I think our next best chance of some rain is a little bit later in the week, but we'll talk about that coming up in your full forecast.
This weekend, Colville National Forest is doing some prescribed burns. This is a map of the PNW Prescribed Fire Tracker. You can see all of the plant burn activity that's going to be happening this spring up north. These areas may be closed for several days for public safety. There will be warning signs along roads near all of the prescribed fire areas, both before and during those burns. From now on, public records requesters will now have to pay a fee for Spokane County body camera footage. Spokane County commissioners voted unanimously to start charging people. It now costs 78 cents per minute of redacted video. There are exemptions for victims, their legal teams, or anyone else potentially in the footage. The county says this will help cover staff costs for redacting the sensitive or exempt information before videos are released to the public.
This is a small fee that will go towards just the redaction of videos only. I'm hopeful that we can still be accessible and transparent in everything that we're doing here at the county, and so that's the cost of being transparent.
Commissioners say they hope this cracks down on people who use this type of footage for social media. The families of Idaho public safety officers who were killed in the line of duty will soon see increased death benefits. KREM 2's Regan Gallo tells us how North Idaho firefighters pushed for the new law following the deadly ambush on Canfield Mountain that killed 2 of their own.
Well, House Bill 642 comes in direct response to the June 29th ambush on Canfield Mountain that killed Battalion Chiefs John Morrison and Frank Harwood, who served under Coeur d'Alene Fire and Kootenai County Fire and Rescue. The new law increases the one-time death benefit and adds an annual pension for surviving spouses for public safety officers who are killed in the line of duty.
Law now or will be on July 1st.
On Tuesday at the Idaho Fallen Firefighters Memorial Park in Boise, Governor Brad Little signed House Bill 642, a law meant not to just change policy, but to bring support, comfort, and peace of mind. Chief Pete Hawley with Kootenai County Fire and Rescue, who attended the signing, says this will make a huge difference for the wife and family of Battalion Chief Frank Harwood.
This is huge for her and her family. It provides a layer of relief, and it doesn't make anything that happened in her loss any less, but it definitely helps when she's navigating the future.
The bill changed the current catastrophic death benefit from $100,000 to $500,000. It also creates a $75,000 annual pension for surviving spouses. Hawley says it was a joint effort with the professional firefighters of Idaho, spending the last 8 months working on the bill.
Make sure that there's a very solid, clear path that'll be a constant for the family.
Gabe Eckert, president of Coeur d'Alene Firefighters Union Local 710, says the bill is funded by first responders through the Public Employee Retirement System of Idaho.
This bill will not affect the Idaho taxpayer at all.
Eckert adds now this bill ensures stronger protections going forward.
Knowing that in the event that I were to die on the line of duty, which is a reality in my line of work, it just gives me a great sense of peace that my family is going to be taken care of.
Washington is starting another e-bike rebate program this month. They did one of these back in January of 2025 and say it went really well. Anybody now 16 or older who lives in Washington state can apply for the rebate online. It starts tomorrow and will be open for about a year. And then starting April 13th, the state will be randomly choosing people throughout the year to get that rebate every month. Excitement is building up for the World Cup. The official trophy is now on tour across North America. The first stop in the U.S. is Los Angeles. The 18-karat gold trophy will eventually make a stop at each of the 11 host cities and 10 others as well. If you want to see it in person, you will have to travel out to Seattle, not too far. It'll be there April 5th and 6th. And despite consumer uncertainty, experts are forecasting record spending this Easter. The main culprits? Candy and food. Here's a breakdown of the expected cost per person.
Easter spending is expected to break records this year, topping $24 billion. Shoppers are expected to shell out just under $196 per person. That's a more than $6 jump compared to last year.
I think consumers have opted to make savings in other places so that they can spend at events like these because they are important.
Mark Matthews with the National Retail Federation says most consumers say they'll be buying candy and food.
Food is really the key theme that runs through all the data this year.
So let's break down recent food prices. Overall, the price for candy is up 11% in the last 12 months, according to the latest Consumer Price Index report. Meat prices have jumped more than 8% in the last year, and prices have gone up for bakery products, fruits, and vegetables. The good news is egg prices have tumbled by more than 42%.
When we look at inflation, it's remaining stubbornly high, but most of it tends to be services inflation.
Matthew says there are things you can do to help keep costs down.
Signing up to loyalty programs and looking out for those deals.
Cooking a meal instead of eating out can also help lower your costs. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Coming up, you see it on bumper stickers and t-shirts, but did you know Sasquatch has Native American roots? John Bartel takes the back roads to Forks, Washington to explore the history of Bigfoot. And later, The Boy Who Lived Lives On, a preview of the all-new Harry Potter TV series coming out later this year. You never know what you'll see on the back roads, right? John Bartel takes us to northern Washington to learn about Bigfoot through the eyes of indigenous people.
Tales of Sasquatch or Bigfoot have been told all over the world, but here in Forks, Washington, they tell the story through an indigenous lens, right here at Sasquatch, the legend.
The story of Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, has been told many ways, but few people know the story of the wild woman in the woods, told by Native Americans.
So this is Chunaka, wild woman of the woods, Sasquatch, and she's reaching out to a native girl to grab her, and as you can see, the right arm is slam dunking a misbehaving boy into the basket.
Thomas Seward is a Sasquatch investigator with the Kwakwaka'wakw tribe in Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and he also works at the Sasquatch Legend store in Forks, Washington.
My tribe, the Kwakwaka'wakw, our highest ranked crest, and every animal, natural and supernatural, is on a tier. The top tier is Chunaka, the wild one of the woods, wild woman of the woods, that some people call it. But it's a Sasquatch.
Thomas says his tribe and the wild woman of the woods have been living together forever, and they've been depicting her through indigenous art and dance. Thomas creates his own art and sells it, but he also educates visitors why Bigfoot is important to the indigenous people.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Make the noise of a Sasquatch. At nighttime when you're trying to sleep, that's what you hear, whooping from island to island in my territories.
Thomas is one of the leading Sasquatch researchers in North America and has been featured in countless TV shows, podcasts, and movies. He says he's also encountered the creature a number of times himself.
Been within 5 feet of them twice. I've been around them within 30 feet 4 times, and I know they've been around me over 30 times while I was out there sleeping or traveling or whatever.
If you want, Thomas will even take you into the wilderness to try and see it for yourself.
I tell people, I'm trying to teach you so that you can have a close encounter of the hairy kind.
Thomas says seeing and hearing a Sasquatch is a special moment, but according to native lore, Sasquatch is also used to teach children lessons.
They'll rub the spruce sap in their eyes when she captures misbehaving children, throw them in the basket, take them deep into the forest, up a mountain to her invisible home, and that's where she boils them up and eats the bad children.
From an indigenous perspective, Thomas says looking for Sasquatch can teach humans, young and old, a lot of life lessons, but most importantly, it teaches respect.
Greatest teaching from Sasquatch that I pass on through my decades being out in bush is to always be respectful of your other bipedal creatures.
Searching for Sasquatch in Forks, Washington. I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
How much time do you spend looking down at your phone? For most people, the answer is probably too much. Coming up, why doctors are seeing an influx of patients suffering from text neck. It's a condition doctors are seeing more and more of. Text neck. It's the posture someone can develop if they spend too much time looking down at their phone, tablet, or laptop. Here's a CBS report.
Oh. It's the sound of relief at the Joint Chiropractic in San Leandro.
See right here, you feel that in there?
Relief from what Dr. Paul Dancy is referring to as text neck.
You would start to feel tightness in the cervical spine here. It's going to come down and it's just going to be tight pulling sensation.
Dr. Dancy has been a chiropractor for nearly 3 decades, and he's been seeing younger patients come in with neck problems from constantly looking down on their phones.
Children are now starting to come in with text neck. That's what we like to call it. And some children are starting to come down with pre-arthritis before they're 21. And that's never been heard of again. It's like an oxymoron.
He encourages parents to allow children to use their phones this way instead.
They would have to hold it up that way. Now there's no additional flexion of the neck.
And if you're not at a place where you can lie down and be on your phone,
not looking down, bring the phone all the way up.
Bianca Enix is an attorney and spends hours in front of a screen every day and is taking measures to help prevent worse symptoms.
Lift my computer up so that my screen is straight ahead instead of me looking down, which is great.
Come on, we're going to do 10 of those. Ready?
Dr. Dancy is passionate about his work.
We almost got 180 degrees. That's pretty good.
He'll have his hands full helping patients fight the physical problems of too much tech. Suji Nam, CBS News, San Francisco.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look at what this Sunday has in store for us. Pretty similar to what we experienced. Just go ahead and take a look at our weekend forecast, right? Saturday, you had a high of 56 degrees, a low in the 30s or so, mostly cloudy conditions. And now Sunday. The main difference that we're seeing really is that drop slightly in temperature. So expecting a high near 53 or 54 degrees or so for us on Sunday. Lots of clouds still hanging around. And then you're also going to have some chances of isolated showers as well. We'll keep a close eye on that. So let's go ahead and take a look at our rain graphic. Sunday, the rain chances actually, they pop up pretty much a lot more than what we saw on Saturday and even Friday. Friday was an absolutely gorgeous day. We really didn't even have many clouds, as you can tell the difference just in the graphics right down there. But Sunday, again, more clouds, more chances of those isolated showers. So just be prepared for that. I don't think it can really deter you from making any outdoor plans or at least making your way around town. It shouldn't be too much rain if we get any at all. But go ahead, take a look at your day planner right here. A little bit chilly as you make your way out the doors, but by this afternoon, things are going to be looking good. Mostly cloudy. If the clouds kind of overtake the sun a little bit, I still expect us to get a good pocket of sunshine here and there. And then by this evening, that's when we can start to see some of those rain chances increase a little bit and maybe get the grounds a little bit wet as you're making your way to bed, I guess, getting ready to start the new week off. Our 7-day forecast right here. Again, Saturday and Sunday, almost pretty much identical days. But as we make our way into the new week, you can see those temperatures kind of following a trend, right? We've got the highs in the 50s starting to kind of tick down a little bit closer to the actual 50 mark compared to upper 50s. But then we're looking a little bit later in the week and maybe have some more chances of rain really returning to the forecast. Hopefully it kind of sticks just to Wednesday and Thursday before opening night for the Spokane Indians on Friday. So of course, we'll be keeping a close eye out on that.
Coming up, we're heading to Hogwarts. Harry Potter is back, but this time on the small screen. A full preview of the new series from HBO Max. Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Not a big one, by any means. I got a respect for it.
Okay, did you read the books?
No, I don't think so.
Right,
I saw the movies, or one of them or so.
You haven't even seen all the movies?
I haven't seen all of
Brandon
them. A couple of them,
Jones.
maybe. Yeah, sorry.
Listen, like, I'm not one of those, like, Potterhead fans. Like,
Yeah, the Potterheads.
Yeah, no, I'm not one of those, but, like, come on.
Potheads.
Okay. There's a new trailer coming out for Harry Potter's TV series. Let's listen and take a look.
I told you. You are a normal boy. And you're going to start acting like one. You think you're something special? There is nothing special about you.
I've always wanted to know about my parents.
Your parents were the kindest, bravest people I ever met. They were funny and clever. And they stood up for what they believed was right. The next time I see you, we'll be in Hogwarts.
Mr. Potter, I think we can expect great things from you. Let's see who you are.
Are you really Harry Potter?
That was adorable. I don't think you appreciated that.
No,
as
I'm
much
actually,
as you should
I'm
have.
very
That was
much
so
sold.
cute.
No, it brought back memories. Like I said, I've seen the first one. It's been a while.
Okay.
That brought back memories, though. That in HBO, anything they touch is most
That's
likely
true, that's
going to
true.
be pretty much gold. So I'm sold on it. I'll absolutely
They look
watch.
so cute. They casted it very well. Those kids
Yeah.
are adorable. Oh my
What's
gosh.
what's the one the young lady? What's that?
The little girl?
Yeah, when she does.
Hermione?
No, her name was like Emma Stone in real life, right?
Hermione.
Okay. Emma Watson in real life. Thank you. I'm sorry. And so
telling you,
what's
he's not
the spell she
appreciating
does? What's the spell? Siliodosis.
Oh.
See, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, our producers are telling us. One more time.
Wingardium Leviosa.
There it
is
is.
what
There
he's
it is.
talking
Okay, there
about.
it is. So
Yep,
you know
yep,
what I was
yep,
talking about,
yep.
right?
Okay. Seriously though,
It looks
I
good.
do think the movies did a very good job with the books. I mean, I read the books when I was a kid,
Yeah.
right? And then the movies came out. So I will be curious to see. Like, I don't think anyone was disappointed by the movie, so seeing a TV show will be interesting.
No, it looks really good. I would absolutely watch it. You know.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Thanks for letting me watch that with you.
Join us for Up with KREM Monday through Friday. KREM 2 News, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m.
That's right. We'll see you then.